Hello Sagittarius, Sagittarius Rising, and Sagittarius Moon people. This is your weekly astrological and card forecast for the week starting January 30th, 2017. And a quick reminder for you guys, remember when I say Moon and Rising, I mean Moon and Rising. That will add an extra dimension to your general horoscope. Of course, if you want something more specific and personal to your situation, you can always go to my website, integrativemysticism.com, and sign up for a session there. So, what is going on with your astrology this week? Well, this week we've got a repeat angle going on. Mercury is finally coming out of its shadow and forming the T-square yet again between Jupiter and Uranus, between your 11th house of friendships and social networking and your 5th house of love and romance. And this is kind of an interesting angle because it's sort of turning on an opportunity for you to take complete control of a financial opportunity, because Mercury is currently in your earned income sector, that you may have been considering pairing with your love life or with your friends. You may find that we've all been trying to do this all together, or this may be one big team effort. Or you may find that this is an opportunity to even get a romantic partner's finances under control, or maybe even boost some teamwork at the office with that, with the 11th house in there. The thing about this is, though, you're being put on the spot, Sagittarius, because everyone is going to be deferring control, authority, and the final decision to you. And this means you're going to be basically whatever you say, go. Whatever you say goes. Why was that so difficult to say? And when we look at it that way, that means if you don't say anything, nothing happens. But if you do say something, it will happen. Even, so you've got to be careful with that. Your partner, your friends, everyone's basically going to be coming to you for a lot of advice, but again, if you've been having a hard time maybe reconciling how all these things come together, your work schedule versus your romantic life, maybe we have friends and a lover that aren't getting along, they're not mixing and mingling, we're going to have an opportunity to fix everything, but everyone's going to be deferring the final answer to you. So you certainly don't want to advocate the throne this week, but also at the same time, you don't want to get too control drunk, okay? So what's going on with your cards? Well, for your spiritual advice, we do have the card of Elf-Struck. Okay, and the Elf-Struck card, basically, it's kind of a warning, interestingly enough, because the Elf-Struck card is sort of the card that says, be careful about assuming something is sort of perfect, or perfect enough that you can put all your energy into it to the detriment of other things. Because the Elf-Struck card is kind of saying we kind of develop some tunnel vision. We have our mind set on one thing, and we are just kind of obsessed with that one thing. But it might not actually be what it looks like on the outside. We're kind of more obsessed with an idea, or obsessed with a concept. It could be the concept of a type of relationship. It could be the concept of the ideal career. It could be the concept of, confidence and physical health. But I think that what's happening is that, with the Elf-Struck card, pay attention to the card. We do got this beautiful woman, but her eyes are fairly glazed, almost like there's no soul inside. Check and see what you're obsessing over. Is there a soul there? For your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and finances, we do have the Seven of Swords reversed. Great unexpected good news coming your way, because the Seven of Swords reversed usually shows up as, again, a boomerang kind of effect. If you feel like you've been missing any opportunities at the workplace, maybe we thought we were passed over, or a job opportunity came and went before we could apply for it. Maybe there was some money that you could have actually put yourself out there to receive, and then we either missed a deadline, or maybe again the opportunity just came and went way too fast. We have it coming back around the bend this week. The Seven of Swords reverse can also be good for those of you that are expecting some payback. If somebody does owe you money, or you have an entitlement coming, maybe not even from an individual, maybe it's from a company, or a settlement, or a lawsuit. Seven of Swords reverse could say, something that does belong to you will be coming back. Indeed! For your communications with air, we do have the Six of Swords reversed. More coming back, more returns. And the Six of Swords reversed is showing up in an area that talks about messages from friends and from relatives. We may find out that a friend or a relative may be planning on moving home soon, maybe even sooner than we think if you already knew it was going to happen. In fact, with the Six of Swords reversed, I feel like what you might be hearing about is, there may be actually more than one person having an opportunity for a reunion in your life. It may not necessarily be a physical move, though it is highly likely with the Six of Swords reversed. However, conversely, if you were the one who were thinking about making some kind of a move, whether back to a place you've lived or just away from where you are, the Six of Swords reversed is saying consider retracing your steps a little bit. You may have a chance to go live in a place you were happier than you are now. If you are looking for a way to move back, there will be a window of opportunity. For your challenge this week with fire, we do have the Seven of Cups, reversed. Again, be careful about being too rigid in your focus, or being too rigid with anything. Sometimes our focus turns into standards, turns into expectations, and all of a sudden we end up with the whole elf-struck, beguiled warning of, uh-oh, this person's getting a little bit administrative with friends and with family members. And quite frankly, I love to take a very acidic tone when it comes to people who get too administrative with me when when no one's getting paid. And the Seven of Cups reverse is kind of interesting because it's saying, Sagittarius, you have an opportunity to start to get to know people very personally this week, even if they are just coworkers or just associates. So be careful about compartmentalizing or pigeonholing too much. You may miss out on something really nice. For your emotions with water and your romantic life, we do have the Eight of Swords upright. Now this is I kind of feel like when it comes to love, this could be our challenged card of the week, because the Eight of Swords upright does indicate there may be some kind of stall or standstill in a love pursuit in regards to either a romantic partner or possibly even a crush. There's something kind of getting in the way of this person being available. However, there is some frustration because we know that they might actually be able to get away from this situation. They might be able to, find a way to help themselves, but they're kind of leaning on you a lot to make it do for them. Now again, we have you going into a big authority phase here, so you could do it, but pay attention to where this person may be deferring a bit too much for you instead of acting like an adult. I feel like your partner or your crush is not doing this because they're manipulative or they're lazy, or it's not because of that. I genuinely feel like there may be some kind of fatalism or maybe some kind of fear or low self-esteem that's making them go, they want you to do it for them because they don't think they can. Whatever this is, you will be able to pull it off, but make sure that you're teaching somebody to fish just as much as you're feeding them. So that is your forecast, Sagittarius. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you'd like to get a session, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.